Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my show. I know this is not my normal scheduled time, and I know I rescheduled this about 50 million times tonight. So I may just have to redo this live on tomorrow, but I don't like to break my commitments. So, um, yeah, I might have to redo this tomorrow. But anyway, we're going to get into a few things, a few updates. I want to run a few things past you all. Because my mind is still stuck on one particular person when it comes to the Nancy Guthrie case. I'm still on that one particular person, and I'm not the only one. I am not the only one that questions Mr. Dominic Evans, okay? Tonight we have major developments in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Investigators claim they're getting closer to suspects. I don't know how true that is. And I'm going to say what I had said in the beginning. They should not have cleared the family as of yet. I do not believe they should have cleared the family within those first few days. I think it's going to take longer before you could actually fully clear family members. A special task force is now leading the case. The family has returned to the home for the first time since she vanished. And a man who was previously detained and questioned has now given a public interview. We're going to take a look at that. His name is Luke Daly. So tonight we are going to do a breakdown, what investigators are saying, what the evidence shows, and what this interview might mean. So let's get to it. And yeah, you might hear my cat in the background. He's losing his little mind because I shut him out of the room. For those who are new to the case, Nancy Guthrie is an 84-year-old woman. She disappeared from her home in the Catalina foothills near Tucson, Arizona. And still yet to this day, we do not have basic information. It's a lot to break down. She was last seen the night before she vanished. And who were the last people to see her alive? We really got to look at that. Authorities say evidence inside the home suggests she did not leave voluntarily. Investigators believe she was abducted, and since that night, there has been an intense search to find out who took her. I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to come out straight out and tell you what I'm thinking, and we're going to get into some videos. We don't know the basic pieces of information. We don't. I want to know who saw her last. What was she wearing the last time she was seen? What was this about the her going to church when she hadn't been to church since the pandemic? Thank you so much, Max. Hey, Lemmy. I might have to redo my live tomorrow. My people done been rescheduled about 50 times. Yeah, let me not look at the chat so I can stay on task. Okay. But we don't know the basic information. From my understanding, the last person to have seen her alive was her own daughter and the daughter's husband, Annie Guthrie and Tomaso. So why don't we have that basic information about what time he dropped her off? What was she wearing when he last saw her? What happened in the moments that he dropped her off at her home after having dinner with them? And I'm going to break down what I'm thinking took place with the whole situation, because I think the person that was caught on camera, I think that was a deterrent. It was a look at me. We're trying to rob the home. I don't think that was the case. If a robber runs into a person in the midst of robberies, what do they most likely do? Do they stick around and kidnap a person, or do they haul ass up out of there? I don't think this is a robbery. Most cases like this, is always someone close to you. Always someone close to you. A major development is the formation of a special task force now. This task force includes FBI agents, local detectives, and homicide investigators. When cases move to a task force like this, it usually means the investigation has grown much larger and more complex. And we know this investigation is very complex, okay? Very, very complex. Hold on. My notifications are coming up and getting in my way. Now, I'm going to start off with a video of the sheriff. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to gradually work up to what I believed happened. And the person's or people's person that I believe was involved in the alleged kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, okay? Everything is alleged. Fair use and trigger warning. Also, my dog is snoring, so ignore that.
The Pima County Sheriff says a team of homicide detectives and the FBI are working many leads to try and get closer to solving this case. News 4 Tucson's Andrew Capasso has covered this investigation from the beginning. He's live at the Pima County Sheriff's Department with a look at where things stand right now. Andrew.
Yeah, Robbie, good afternoon to you. Nice to see you. So this evidence ranges from that DNA collected near the scene to cars, and of course that doorbell camera video from the night Nancy was taken. Sheriff Chris Nanos says there are several good leads here, and he is confident in his investigators. So right this second, investigators are waiting for DNA at that Florida lab, that private lab there in Florida. At the same time, dozens of FBI agents are still on the ground here in Tucson working this case. So now, today, more than a month later, we are less in the evidence collection phase and more in the analysis of everything collected phase. The sheriff says it's frustrating to wait. He understands that, but he says it is important and this part takes time. Meanwhile, he says some of the leads investigators have in their hands right now are very promising. Listen to this.
We have information on this case that we think is going to hopefully lead us to solving this case. But it takes time, because my team can now focus on what's really the meat and potatoes of this case, and that is who it is that was in that video and who took Nancy Guthrie.
So the sheriff standing by his team of investigators, he was asked if he's confident his investigators will solve this. The sheriff saying, quote, absolutely, we will get there. So we're going to continue to stay on top of this. Of course, I've also talked to United Cajun Navy today. They're offering a lot of help and a lot of resources from across the United States, really around the world. We're going to talk to them and hear from more of them coming up starting at 4 o'clock. For now, reporting live at Pima County Sheriff's Department headquarters, I'm Andrew Capasso.
The sheriff has blundered this case horribly. He blundered it from the beginning, because when you have a crime scene like that, you don't allow news reporters and the public to be able to walk up on the lady's porch and take pictures. They blundered this from the gate. Now let's look at the task force, and then we're going to get into Annie and Tomaso.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It has been more than 1 month now since Savannah Guthrie's mother disappeared from her Tucson home.
And authorities say they are no closer to finding her than they were a month ago. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie vanished on February 1st. So this morning, sources are telling Fox News the case has been handed off to a task force that features now both the Pima County homicide detectives as well as FBI agents. Sheriff Chris Nanos with Pima County did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but we are being told investigators on the case are still digging through tens of thousands of tips and leads, and there are thousands of hours of video as well. The family is offering now a $1 million reward for Nancy's return. Last week, they said that the reward could be paid in cash. Anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. In the meantime, the family of a Mesa mom of 7 in desperate need of answers after they say she was shot by her next-door neighbor.
Oh, hold
Well,
on
it
now.
happened early Saturday morning near Ray and Esperion. 32-year-old
Okay, now recently, yesterday actually, Savannah Guthrie and other family members were seen returning to the house for the first time since their mother's disappearance. They placed flowers outside the home, they spoke briefly with supporters, and they thanked the public for the continued prayers and attention to the case. This moment was very emotional, and you could actually hear Annie sobbing in the background. Let's take a quick look at that video, and then we're going to get into Annie and Tomaso.
Here, at least publicly, there was that.
Also, Brian Enton has been amazing with keeping up with this case. So make sure you check if you want to continue to be active and wanting to know what the case is bringing out. Check out Brian Enton. I also like Ashley Banfield. JLR is also on the scene, but everyone's sick of looking at cacti. So
that one day, you guys remember I told you that there was that SUV that showed up that went into the garage. We weren't able to see who got out. I do believe it was family then too, but this time they weren't hiding in any way and came to see the sort of the flowers and there's flowers and candles and cards that people have left for Nancy. I called it a memorial earlier, and then I thought about it. I guess that would just be for someone who's passed away. And of course, we don't know that Nancy's passed away. We hope she's still alive. So I guess I probably shouldn't call it a memorial. But they clearly wanted to see it for themselves. And it was just a News Nation crew who was here and one other network. And I'm glad no one really tried to ask any questions or anything, which I'm glad about. I'm glad they got to just have their moment. So I want to play for you that whole kind of moment. And I think it's important, again, just because it shows what they're going through and kind of reminds all of us the emotional impact this has had on them and why this is just such a sad case when you think about 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie missing and what her family is going through. So I just want to play you this moment, the whole raw thing, just so you can see it for yourself.
No, tailor-made. They have not found her as of yet. Yeah, tailor-made it is. It's been a month now. Somebody's a mouth breather. Whoever recording. Now,
So yeah, I mean,
that man that's in the video, he was the last person to have seen Nancy Guthrie alive. He was the last one. He dropped her off at home. So did something happen when he dropped her off? Did something take place? Was there an argument about money? What happened in those last moments when he dropped her off? Now, someone has, I'm just going to pull up the video. Someone has an interesting view of things when it comes to Tomaso. Let me pull it up. Because they were looking at the way the person walked. Hold on. Let me move some of these out the way. I thought I had them removed already, guys. Give me a second.
Nice that there's a
Hold on. Because I didn't want to play Ashley Banfield yet. Y'all know I always mess up when it comes to this. All right. I think this
breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Online sleuths have spotted what they claim is a striking similarity in the way Tomaso Cioni walks compared to the masked suspect in the ring camera footage captured during the family's emotional memorial visit yesterday, marking day 30 since the 84-year-old vanished from her Tucson home. So I'm Joseph Morris, and don't forget to like and subscribe. First, let's be clear. Law enforcement has repeatedly stated that the family has been cooperative and there are no red flags pointing to their involvement. They've been cleared in the investigation, but that hasn't stopped armchair detectives from analyzing every detail. In videos shared widely online, people point out how both Tomaso and the suspect seem to walk with toes pointed outward, almost like a waddle and at a similar pace. One user pointed out that Tomaso does fit the profile in height, gait, and body fat, and points out similarities to how his right arm just dangles. Now, here's where community speculation ramps up. In a post from Madeline K's tweets, it reads, "This visit by Tomaso to Nancy Guthrie home has put me less at ease with him. We now know he is only 5'9" to 5'10", which matches the description of the masked figure in the Ring doorbell camera footage provided by the FBI. Several PR accounts push the narrative that Tomaso was 6 feet tall. So why would they do that? His gait looks identical to the suspect's. He has a mustache that fits the profile. His car was impounded and he was named as part of the investigation by law enforcement. It's uncommon for authorities to visit his house 6 times.
And I just want y'all to see all the possibilities here, because I'm thinking it's more so his bandmate than him. I believe it's Dominic Evans. And the reason why I believe that is because the perpetrator actually has a scar on his lip. Dominic Evans also has a scar on his lip. They said the perpetrator has a tattoo on his wrist. Allegedly, Dominic Evans also has a tattoo on his wrist. Let me show you guys who I'm talking about. And this person looks more like the masked subject than Tomaso. Okay. Let's see. This is the one we just looked at. Y'all know this thing be acting up on me. Give me a minute. Where is it? I'm coming, guys. I know I did not take it off. Hold on. Okay, here it is, because I see his face. All right.
The man standing on that porch is not the man who planned it. 2 faces, 2 DNA profiles. One terrifying conspiracy that nobody saw coming is about to be ripped wide.
And also, remember the saying that the person that did this behind this mask has a feminine face. He's effeminate. The slanting of the eyes, the scar on the lip. This makes more sense to me to be this man than Tomaso. I believe that something happened when Tomaso went to drop her off. And this man, who is a known criminal, he embezzled and he does robberies, armed robberies. I believe this man was sent to make it look like it was a burglary, to cover up what actually took place earlier that day. Let's continue to watch.
Open right now. I need you to stop everything you are doing and pay very close attention for the next few minutes, because what I am about to reveal will completely change the way you understand this entire case from the ground up. Before I expose the devastating hidden connection between a respected science teacher and a convicted felon that federal investigators are desperately racing to piece together before someone disappears forever, you need to understand something absolutely critical. What I am about to present is not recycled internet gossip. Every single claim in this documentary comes directly from verified court filings, official FBI physical descriptions, publicly available criminal records, and confirmed forensic reports. I spent weeks buried inside these documents, and what I found will fundamentally change the way you see this case forever. On the night of January 31st, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie vanished from her home in the Catalina foothills of Tucson, Arizona. Her son-in-law, Tomaso Cioni, told police he dropped her off safely at approximately 9:50 in the evening after a normal family dinner. That is the last confirmed sighting of Nancy Guthrie alive. But here is where everything fractures into 1,000 dark pieces that the official police narrative simply cannot hold together anymore. At exactly 1:47 in the morning, the Nest doorbell camera at Nancy's home was manually disconnected. Someone physically reached out and killed the digital eyes watching that front porch. Between those 2 timestamps sits an enormous black hole of nearly 4 hours. 4 hours with no witnesses. 4 hours with no active surveillance recording a single frame. 4 hours with absolutely no confirmed alibi for the last person who saw her breathing. In criminal investigations, 4 hours is not just a gap. It is an ocean of time. It is enough time to drive home, wait for the entire neighborhood to fall asleep, change every piece of clothing, return to the target location, and execute a plan that was months in the making. Now, most investigators would look at the son-in-law first. And when you start digging through the public records surrounding Tomaso Cioni, the circumstantial evidence.
And let me say this. Normal cases, they would have looked at the son-in-law first. He was the last person to see her alive. He dropped her off. But I believe, because this is a high-profile family, that this is the mother and the family members of Savannah Guthrie, I feel like they were like, oh, let's appease the family. It couldn't be him. Well, why not? Because I think he should be a suspect. Both of them.
Evidence is not just suspicious. It is absolutely staggering in its timing and precision. Exactly 8 months before his mother-in-law was abducted in a crime that would later demand a $6 million ransom in cryptocurrency, Tomaso quietly signed a durable power of attorney transferring complete legal control of his financial and personal affairs to his wife, Annie. Legal experts will tell you this can be a routine estate planning move. But when you physically place that document on a timeline directly beside a massive kidnapping for ransom targeting his wife's own mother, it stops looking routine immediately. It starts looking like an architect carefully constructing his legal escape hatch and getting his personal affairs locked down tight before executing the most dangerous and irreversible decision of his entire life. Then there is the security gate. If you have ever visited the desert communities outside Tucson, you know that every home has a heavy iron security gate bolted directly in front of the main entry door. These gates are serious. They do not swing open with a gentle push, but in the released doorbell footage, the masked suspect does not force that gate. He does not use bolt cutters. He does not kick it. He walks through it as smoothly as if someone had already left it wide open and waiting for him. Think about what that really means. Let that fact settle into your...
Let me pause it here. Was it yesterday or today? The FBI, hey Vibrant, was back at the home looking at the door, checking out the doorknob, the door handle. Now, what if the person left gates open or left the door unlocked? It's just not okay. It's just not adding up to me. This case is not making sense to me at all.
Your mind. A total stranger somehow bypasses a locked iron gate specifically designed to prevent exactly this kind of intrusion in the dead of night without creating a single sound and without leaving a single scratch on the metal. That does not happen in the real world. That has never happened in a real criminal case. So the evidence is stacking against the suspect. So the evidence is stacking against Tomaso Cioni. The 4-hour gap, the power of attorney, the unlocked gate, the intimate knowledge of the camera system, and its lack of a paid cloud storage subscription. Everything points toward the son-in-law. But then, the Federal Bureau of Investigation released one specific detail that shattered the entire single suspect theory into pieces. The FBI provided an official physical profile of the masked man captured on the doorbell camera. They stated clearly that the suspect stands between 5 feet 9 inches and 5 feet 10 inches tall. If you look at any publicly available photograph of Tomaso Cioni standing beside other people, it is immediately obvious. He is significantly taller than 5 feet 10 inches. He physically cannot be the person on that porch. That single measurement destroyed the theory of Tomaso acting alone. But it did not clear him. It revealed something far more disturbing. It revealed that the architect of this plan never intended to step onto that porch himself. He needed an operative, someone he trusted completely, someone whose height, build, and specific skill set matched the job perfectly. And that is exactly where Dominic Evans enters this investigation. In April of 2007, Tomaso Cioni had recently arrived in the United States. He answered a simple classified advertisement on Craigslist looking for musicians. That advertisement was posted by a local drummer named Dominic Evans. They connected instantly and formed an independent rock band together called Early Black. From that single internet meeting, a bond was forged that would last 19 years.
And I have been looking at their
19
old
years
videos.
is not a casual friendship. It is nearly 2 decades of shared history, shared secrets, and shared knowledge of every intimate detail in each other's lives. Dominic would have known everything about Tomaso's wealthy mother-in-law. The family dynamics, the financial situation, the house layout, the security system, the daily routines. When you spend 19 years creating music and spending time together, there are no secrets left. But here is the detail that stopped me cold when I discovered it. After years of performing at local venues, Early Black released their debut studio album. The title they chose sends an absolute chill through your entire body when you read it today. They named their debut record Life, Love, Murder, an indie rock album title from years ago that now reads like a confession written in plain sight. Now let me show you why Dominic Evans is not just a suspicious name. He is the missing puzzle piece that makes every fragment of evidence in this case snap together with terrifying precision. When you pull the completely public court records for Dominic Evans filed in Pima County, you do not find minor parking tickets or small traffic fines. You find extensively documented felony charges for burglary and robbery. These are not petty misdemeanors that a young person picks up and moves past. These are serious violent felony charges that require a very specific and deeply dangerous psychological capability that the vast majority of ordinary people
It's giving he helped Tomaso come up with this damn theory, being that he was convicted of embezzlement. And everything is alleged, and, I have said that. But convicted of embezzlement, and you guys know what embezzling is. This is just right up his alley. And the fact that Tomaso saw the mother-in-law last, come on.
simply do not possess and could never develop. Burglary is the criminal act of entering a private structure unlawfully with the specific intent to commit a crime inside. It teaches you how to enter a private space silently and with complete control. How to navigate hallways and rooms in total darkness without bumping into furniture or disturbing the vulnerable people sleeping peacefully inside. Robbery is the polar opposite. Robbery requires direct physical confrontation with another terrified human being. It requires controlled intimidation, aggressive dominance, and the ability to completely take over a chaotic and unpredictable situation through sheer physical force and psychological pressure. When you combine those two extremely dangerous skill sets together, the silent, ghost-like entry of a trained and practiced burglar with the violent physical confrontation of an experienced and hardened robber, you get the exact operational resume and precise criminal profile required to silently break into a secluded desert home in the middle of the night and forcefully kidnap an 84-year-old woman from her own bed while she slept. And then there is the physical evidence that the internet...
Yes, tailor-made. I've been thought that. This is a woman who has serious health problems. Her pacemaker is disconnected. She doesn't have any of her medications, because if this was a true, kidnapping and these people were well put together, when you kidnap someone, you need to be able to sustain their life. If you're kidnapping for ransom, you need to keep them alive. So you would take their medicines and everything that they would need. So unfortunately, I think she's been gone, honestly. And I think that all of this was just was created to make it look like something that it wasn't. You know how a lot of times that there's an unaliving, but the house is ransacked? Sorry, there's someone at my door. You know how there's an unaliving, but the house is ransacked to make it look like something it's not, to try to make it look like, oh, it's a random person burglarizing the house. And yeah, but they're always able to figure out whether it's an actual burglary or if it's unaliving that was being covered as a burglary. And I believe that's what this situation is. It is an unaliving that they are trying to mask as a burglary / kidnapping. So I believe she's been gone for a minute. Hold on, let's see what else is on here. If there's anything else I want to cover. Let me see. I don't want to play Ashley Banfield's video yet. They still have they're still offering a $1 million reward for information leading to Nancy's safe return. Authorities are urging anyone with credible information to contact the Pima County Sheriff's Office or the FBI. Not social media influencers, but law enforcement. But half the time it's the social media people's cracking the case. And I honestly think the sheriff is about to be out of a whole job, to be honest. The investigators are still focusing on several important pieces of evidence. One of the most talked about pieces is the doorbell camera footage. I don't understand why they don't have more, unless they do have more and they're not telling us. Okay. The footage reportedly shows hold on. My notification's getting away. The footage reportedly shows a masked individual near the front door of the home shortly before she disappeared. They're also talking about vehicles leaving the area at a high speed. Also, the vehicles are using like a back road. Could it be one of those vehicles? Who's to say? I believe something happened when she got home. And I'm just stuck with that thought that when he took her home, something took place. And his friend was sent in to do a cover-up job to make it look like something that it wasn't. Now, Luke Daly, I want to bring his interview in. He was one of the people not arrested, detained for this missing Nancy Guthrie case. We're going to take a look at his interview, just a small snippet of it. But him and the mother were both interviewed. Wait, this is about the DNA, though. Am I at the bottom?
Many people have believed that you are.
And then after this, I'm going to show y'all how her memorial was vandalized. And it's funny, not funny, haha. But I don't know what else to call it but a memorial. Memorial, that term is used when we know someone has passed away and someone sets up a memorial. So what would we call this? It's still a memorial, right? I don't know. Come on. Because I heard it mentioned someplace else that they felt strange for calling it a memorial. Give me a minute. My stuff is freezing. I'm over here clicking away and it's not doing anything. Please double tap the screen. What in the heck? Why did it go black? All right. It's not me, y'all. I am frozen. God. I don't know what's going on. Let me try again. This might be a sign for me to do it tomorrow. I know I kept rescheduling, so hold on, let me see something. I don't know what's going on. Give me a minute, y'all. Let's see what he's doing while I get my stuff together. I don't know what's happening over here. Oh my gosh.
Nanos, man. Break the case. Nanos, please. Please, please, please break the case, Nanos. We have full confidence in you, Mr. Nanos, and fully believe that you will get this done and take us over the finish line. Sunset is gone.
Let me see if I can pull up my. And I got y'all looking at all my business. Here it is.
Are the person on the surveillance video, the abductor, the masked person. Is that you?
It's not me. I don't see the resemblance of it looking like me.
The most recent person
absolutely
that was
not. I have nothing to
detained.
do with this case.
Nothing to do with it. Do you have any idea who is involved in the abduction?
I don't. If I did, I would happily tell FBI, police, anything. I mean, I, like everyone else, just want Nancy to come home.
And I'm so sorry for not addressing my Facebook people. Y'all make sure you like and share over on Facebook. Thank you for hanging out.
And be safe. But that being said, I have nothing to do with this case, and that's it.
Explain to me what happened on the night you were detained, where you were, you're with your car. How did that unfold in your eyes?
So I was driving home. I noticed two sheriff vehicles following me. They pulled me over at the Culvers right there, asked me to get out of the car, didn't tell me what it was about. So they had me cuffed in the back of a cop car, detained. I was asking, like, what am I being detained for? And they wouldn't tell me anything. They just said that the detectives would be there to talk to me. And once I saw like FBI and all the other cars start pulling in, I'm like, oh, this is probably about the Guthrie case. I'm like, this should be easy. Like, I have nothing to do with this, so it should be not a big deal to clear my name and move on. But the whole time during the questioning, didn't really seem like more of like a fishing expedition for them to try to get me to say something, because all the dates I was telling them where I was, things like that. I'm like, all you'd have to do is look at my phone and see my location. It was nowhere near anywhere or have any connection to this. But still, it was tough, like being there. Like, I mean, I don't trust the FBI to the extent that I'm like thinking that there's pressure on this case and they want to find the person. So like the whole time while I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, I'm like panicking, thinking that I'm going to be framed for this, or they're trying to pin this on me somehow.
Did they tell you what led them to you? I mean, something made them believe they needed to talk to you about it. What was that? I
asked them. They didn't tell me any information about that. And I have thought of any type of reason why they could have come after me. But there's nothing. And I think that's why they didn't tell me.
Were you in the area of the home at the time, like the overnight, or would it have been something like, we've tracked this person near?
Well, I live near her house, but I mean, I didn't even know that until after the fact. Like, I barely just learned where her actual house was in relation to mine. So I didn't even know.
Had you ever met her?
No.
Did you know who she was?
I knew who she was because my mother was following the case. But in terms of other than that, I would just go off what my mother was telling me.
And so how long were you detained for?
Probably maybe 4 or 5 hours.
In the back of that car the whole time? And they searched your Range Rover extensively?
Yeah, they searched Range Rover. They towed my Range Rover. Did all DNA testing or whatever, and then gave it back to me. Took my cell phone. I've had no way to get a hold of anyone, which is probably a good thing because everyone's looking at me like I'm this person that I'm not. So it's been rough.
You got your car back?
Yes.
In rough condition, or was it okay?
Well, when I went to pick it up, like, it wouldn't start. They, I guess they drained the battery down, and it was just covered in the whatever white substance that they use for testing. But yeah, then I got it started up, and it wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't damaged in terms of like repairs or anything. But
So when they released you, what did they say? They say you're free? Did they say never mind? I mean, what was the verbiage there from them?
They had just told me that they were still at my house, so I couldn't go home. But they drove me somewhere near the house and just dropped me off. I was like, well, I don't have a phone. How am I supposed to figure out when I can go back to the house? They basically said, you're just going to have to figure that out. So, I mean, I waited just where they dropped me off at for maybe an hour or so. I had a friend that lived near the area, and I walked over there. They weren't home. So I was just waiting, like basically just on their patio. And then it got to the point where I'm like, well, they should be done by now. I walked back to my house, and this was like the worst part for me, is getting there and seeing the house torn up. But the worst part was my mom not being there, and her being elderly and having AFib and things like that. I'm thinking the worst. Like, I see her cars here, but she's not there, and I don't have my phone to get a hold of her. So I'm wondering what happened, if I need to start calling hospitals or what the deal was. But luckily, I guess she went to one of the neighbors, but I didn't find that out until the next day.
Right. You were detained and released, but you've said it, your face, your name, it's everywhere online. People still believe you were either involved or did this. What's that been like for you to have your name, your picture, even a past mugshot all over the internet associated with this case?
I mean, for me, it's terrible. It's hard to go anywhere, and the hard part is they're making all these assumptions based on things that have absolutely no relevance, and they're just bringing up my past, which I mean, I do have a past, but nothing violent or anything like that. All my past has just been involved with using drugs, and I haven't been in that life for over 2 years now. So all the things that they're bringing up, I guess it's public record, but it would have came out if it wasn't for all these people speculating and doing things like that. So now people that had no idea about my past, so I've done like a good job of working past it and not having anything to do with it. So them doing that now is kind of just reopening this whole speculation and make me out to look like this bad person, which I'm not.
And it's not just been you. People have found, records of an alleged girlfriend of yours. There's been a lot of rumors swirling around. What do you want to say about those rumors, about you, about her, about everybody that people have looked at and said, well, they could do this?
Yeah, first of all, that's not my girlfriend. I barely knew that girl, and I was arrested with her on a completely different circumstance over a year ago. I haven't talked to her since, and I guess they're just going off of the arrest, saying that I was arrested with her. So, but I hardly know her and don't associate with her. But in terms of everything else, I mean, all the speculation is just going off of, I don't even know if people really believe it, but online it just seems like they're pushing this narrative and trying to make connections with things that are, I don't know, basically like circumstantial, like saying my eyelashes match the guy in the ski mask picture, which I'm sure like if you could use anyone's picture and find similarities.
And you don't recognize the person on that in that footage?
No, I don't.
It's a heavier.
But in terms of all this, like I said, they're comparing my face to this. They're talking about my Range Rover, which I didn't even buy until after she was reported missing.
It was a new car, yeah, for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're talking about another car that was towed off my property. That car wasn't an accident, has nothing to do with this. It wasn't towed in relation to this case. It was being towed by the insurance company to assume if it was totaled or not. So that had nothing to do with the case. There's no evidence to point towards me other than speculation.
You really have no idea what led them to you in this case.
Absolutely not.
Still a mystery to you.
Yes, and I would love to find out.
Were you dealing mostly with sheriff's deputies or FBI agents when you were detained?
When I was detained by the sheriffs, but in terms of all the questioning was done by the FBI.
What would you like to say to both PCSD and the FBI?
Basically what I told him before, if there's anything, I'm happy to help. If there actually was something real that I could help them with, but like I said, they have my phone. They went through my phone. So, I mean, if it was anything real, they could look through that and hope clear my name. But in terms of the collateral damages, this being part of it, there's not really any type of way. There's no going back from this.
For your whole family too. I mean, your mom has had to go through this too. As a family, how has this made you guys feel collectively together to kind of be in this public shock, this public scrutiny?
It all just seems like a nightmare. I mean, it doesn't seem real, and it's just been, we're all it's just been a nightmare. I know my mom, she has like problem with stress, and like she was doing good before this. After this, she's been a lot more stressed. It's been
as well.
It's been hard. I'll let her speak to how it's affected her, but I mean, in terms of collectively as a family, it's been a nightmare.
You know, what's your message for Nancy Guthrie's family?
I mean, I, like everyone else, I want to see her come home. I want the actual suspect to be found. I think it's really unfair to them to give them false hope by going off whatever they went off to have this huge investigation and raid happen. To me, it's like giving them false hope that they had a suspect, and then it was nothing. And I'm not the first person either, so I think it's wrong in that sense.
This is your first interview since you've been detained. What's your hope in putting?
I'm gonna stop it there. I do want to be fair and read to you all what Dominic Evans has had to say. And I am so very confused because I thought if you had a criminal record, especially an extensive one like his, I wouldn't think that you would be able to be a teacher. That confuses the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. But anyways, 5th grade teacher Dominic Evans, 48, revealed his family have been hunkering down in their Tucson home without lights on and are in constant fear of being followed ever since his name became linked to the mysterious Guthrie case. He's going through hell and it is horrible. And he's mad at the internet sleuths. Yes, that's what he had to say. I don't care if he's upset. We got to look at every possible lead. We got to expand our minds on this case because no one's telling us anything. We know absolutely nothing but what's in front of us. Now, what I don't like is the desecration of her memorial. Let me pull it up. Playlist. Someone came out
Pima
and
County Sheriff says
messed up her memorial. Oh, here we go. Here it is. And then also this lady, I'll show y'all. I'll just show it.
JLR investigates. Day 31. Where is Nancy Guthrie? Someone ran into this memorial. There was all types of flowers all over the road here. That's crazy because she has a memorial in front of her house, Nancy Guthrie, and people have been laying flowers, cards. And I came here this morning. I'm just going to put the last two over, but somebody like literally in there and ran it over. And all these flowers were all over the place this morning. It's crazy how
Right arm.
Someone ran into this. Maybe because they can't see because it's pitch black out here at night. The flowers were everywhere this morning. So I'm going to kind of like put them off the road, which I've been doing. Some of the flowers are ripped.
Like I said, I've been following
this card
JLR
yesterday when she came to the house with Tomaso and Savannah. But man, be careful when you're driving out here. I'm sure.
Now look at this attention-seeking hooker. Look at this. This is just trifling.
A woman poses in front of the home of missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. She does a photo shoot to launch her true crime channel. Authorities believe Nancy was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night. Her front door camera shows a masked man right before the cameras were destroyed, and then minutes later, her pacemaker was disconnected. In front of Nancy's home, what appears to be a photo shoot is going viral online. Some people comment and say that it's distasteful. One user on X said, "But why would they even think of backlashing her? She only took a photo shoot. What's wrong with that?" But another user says, "This just feels deeply inappropriate. When an elderly woman has been missing for weeks, basic empathy should come first. Some moments aren't meant for content." This has sparked debate online. The streamer goes by the name Kiki. She can also be seen with yellow flowers here. For the past few weeks that Nancy has been missing, people have been putting yellow flowers by her memorial. In this video, her two daughters and son-in-law visit Nancy's memorial that is in front of her home. They place the flowers on the ground. Savannah Guthrie posted this photo on her Instagram. Kiki has been receiving backlash online because she was observed to not leave the flowers behind that she used in her photo shoot and walked off with them. What do you think about this? Do you think it's distasteful, or does it bring more awareness to Nancy's case?
I had no idea the heifer took the daggone flowers with her. My God, on today. Oh, God. Oh, well. All right. Also, Savannah is back in New York. She went to the Today Show. Let's take a look at that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Guthrie. We are so sorry about what's going on. How are you holding up? Thank you. Any progress in the investigation? Thank you, Ms. Guthrie. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So intrusive.
Okay.
There's news today from Tucson.
Oh, this is so low.
Out for the first time since her mother's disappearance.
We are still, of course, always thinking about her.
The Today Show co-anchor was joined yesterday by her sister,
Yeah, that's her
and
daughter,
brother-in-law
Judy.
Tomaso, in an audibly emotional visit to a memorial at Nancy's home.
Today marking 31 days since Savannah's mom went missing.
Savannah later sharing this image of the tributes, posting, "Please don't stop praying with us. Bring her home."
We feel those prayers.
Annie Guthrie and her family left this card, writing, "Though we are surrounded by so much darkness and uncertainty, our love burns bright." As for the latest in the investigation,
somebody knows something.
We got a lot of intel, a lot of leads, but now it's time to just go to work.
This morning on the Today Show, the sheriff said he still has a dedicated team from Pima County's Homicide Division looking for Nancy, and he's operating under the belief she is still alive.
We have information on this case that we think is going to hopefully lead us to solving this case, but it takes time.
And you'll get there?
Absolutely.
I mean, if it is per se Dominic Evans,
Has there been any?
He would do better coming out and saying what's going on.
Two things that, in my view, reframe this entire.
Because all he did was cover it up. If he had done anything, it would be better for him to come out with that. Okay. Let's see what this one is.
Breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. A former investigator has shared fresh details from a trusted source about what was reportedly found inside the home, including missing bed sheets, night clothes, and possible male bodily fluids. This could shift how we view the very first hours of the case if those details.
No, I didn't want to talk about that because that wasn't verified. So the
language to say that we're, we're going to ebb and flow. These are my words. As needed, we'll adjust personnel. And so at the same time as saying that, the sheriff said there was a task force that had been established with Pima County Sheriff's Department.
This is another one I wanted
Brian,
to
I'll
look at.
start with you. What do we know about those men that showed up at Nancy's house today?
Well, we don't know much. I don't believe they were law enforcement based on what we saw,
It's
but they
so
went around the
low.
side of the house. There were 3 of them. What was most interesting is they seemed especially interested in the front door, which is, of course, where, we saw the blood drops. And then they opened the door, they went in. There was some speculation that they could be locksmiths, although I'm not sure that really makes any sense. But they were here for about an hour, and then they were gone, Jesse.
Brian, I want your take on what the sheriff had to say about getting definitely closer to a break. But let me just get to Joseph real quick. Joseph, I understand you might have 2 theories about what may have happened to Nancy that we might not be thinking of.
Well, yeah. I mean, first off, I think that, going with what Brian is saying about the blood deposition there in the front at the door, I think that is significant because this is an act of violence. And, we have confirmed, or they have confirmed at least, that is Mrs. Guthrie's blood that was deposited there. I have my own thoughts about the nature of the deposition and what it kind of stems from. And that was a sudden taking, if you will. The one shot there where you have that kind of expirated blood that is in that large patch. You've got the larger elements of blood there. That expirated blood, which I think are the tiny little dots right there, that's evidence of somebody probably coughing or sneezing out blood deposition from right there. And this blood is not indicative of, say, having a cut on your hand and it just kind of free falling.
And then you have this other idea about her age and her being a vulnerable victim.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys realize how many cases I've worked over the course of my career in Atlanta and New Orleans that involved ransom? 0. The cases I have worked, elder abuse. I've had people that have taken advantage of the elderly because they knew that they had money and they bum rush them into their house and they snatch them out of there, or they do terrible things like murder inside of the house. She is a much more valuable target to them if they had foreknowledge of whose mother she was. That doesn't take a deep dive here. And so if they think that they can get anything out of her, so I think that comes to local knowledge. Who knows this? Is this somebody's, grandson that might be in the neighborhood that has some knowledge that's been talking about this for a protracted period of time?
Right.
I wonder if it's gang related. I wonder what they're pressing relative to the gang associations in Pima County, because this smacks of this relative to targeting her, speaking her out.
And Brian, I'll give you a chance to respond to that since you've been on the ground and know this case better than anybody else. But also, I wanted your response to where the sheriff says they're definitely closer to finding a suspect. But I mentioned before all the seemingly gaps in this investigation, or at least what they know.
Yeah, and he's been saying that for a while. There were a few other things he said today that really stood out to me. One, he was asked about that new surveillance video of the car from 2.5 miles away. He said that it is part of the investigation, but he said that they are looking at hundreds of thousands of cars, which my jaw kind of dropped, like hundreds of thousands. How could that possibly be? I don't know if it's from traffic cameras, but that wasn't really encouraging to hear him say that. The other interesting thing was in terms of the backpack that the suspect was wearing that they've been saying was bought at Walmart all along, and we know they were going through the Walmart sales records. Today, he said that they believe the suspect may have gotten it secondhand. So he didn't necessarily buy the backpack himself from Walmart, which is something we haven't heard the sheriff say before.
Brian, real quick, about 40 seconds to Joseph's theory. If someone bum rushed her, jumped in, maybe was trying to get something from the house, do you know if anything was stolen from her house?
Not that we know of, no. And I heard what Joseph was saying about the blood. One thing I've thought about is
So
I think
again,
it may
let
be
me
an
say this. If they bum rushed her, the last time she was entering the house and this woman used support to walk, she has a walker or a cane. Who was the last person with her? Who took her home after dinner? Come on now.
indication that she was alive when she left the house, because if she was already dead, you would think, I mean, I hate to talk like this, but you'd think they would have wrapped her up, or why would there be those blood spots coming if she was already dead? So I think it's a sign that she was alive when she left.
Gentlemen, I wish we had more time to talk about this because there's could be a number of theories we go through. But Brian Enton, Joseph Scott Morgan, thank you both so much as always.
Now, I'm getting ready to close, and I will probably be back tomorrow to redo this. But think about it like this. And this is alleged. This is just my thoughts, okay? She's being brought home from dinner. Maybe a conversation is happening about money. He's walking her to the door because she has heart issues. She has mobility issues. And something pops off at the door. Because they also found blood in the home at the back door, and the back door was allegedly left wide open. What if something happened between her and Tomaso? Tomaso, in his urgency, reached out to his lifelong, 20-year-long friend. Help me cover this up. Make it look like a burglary. I'll leave the gate and the door open for you. Just come in and do what you do. Thank you, TaylorMade. I appreciate it, boo. That is just one of the theories that I have. And he matches the description of the subject with the goatee, the scar on the lip, the slanted downward eyes, the effeminate face, the height, stature. A lot of things make sense when we look at Dominic Evans and Tomaso. I hate to say it. But thank y'all for hanging out with me. I will be back with more content. I will see y'all later. Have a good one, okay? Bye. Oh, wait. I can't leave yet. I almost gave y'all the wrong intro. We got to fix that. I thought I fixed it. Yeah, I will be coming live on tomorrow with another breakdown, okay? So I will see you guys then. Have a good night.
No need to see viral stories and crime stories so bleak, leaving you hooked for weeks, exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals all exposed to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echoing your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right. The minor key rings, it rules the game. hold tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell.